Hello everyone. Well, today I wanted to share some stories of my life that look like a horror movie. Well, my name is Suzanne. I'm a psychic, a medium, and while I was doing my spiritual awakening, I found out some really dark secrets surrounding spirituality in my own family and also in other people's lives. But today I'm focusing on my story and on my own life. The first years of awakening where I saw the bright side of spirituality, like angels, archangels, and ascended masters, all the bright, beautiful side, Reiki. But then I went to the dark night of the soul, which is the part of the spiritual awakening where you see everything that is reflecting outside of yourself, that is in fact a reflection of your own shadow around you. And that was really hard for me because the first thing that happened was that I was, even though I had been prepared for the revelation of the truth, and I also felt it, the heavy, dark energy surrounding my grandmother, because I started to feel the energies surrounding me. When I went through the dark night of the soul and it started, I really went through a big karmic cycle. And I found out that my grandmother was a evil witch. But those kind of witch that are really evil. I know that she had some narcissistic traits and behaviors, and also she had the profile of a psychopath. But I thought it was just something physical, something mental, but in fact it wasn't just mental. She was working for the devil. And since I got to know what happened, it was all really fast. I was channeling messages. I was doing tarot readings. After that, I started to create a connection between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, like bring a message for people that already passed away. And then a friend that was put in my path just to reveal me that situation and help me at that time, even though she was doing that because she wanted to take advantage of my own gifts and powers. And I didn't realize that at the beginning, but then my spirit guides just told me when our mission was completed. And she was also a medium, so she brought me the information through her grandmother that already passed away, that she also was a witch, but she needed to make peace with her granddaughter, and she did, because she did a curse on her to not find any kind of marriage or a stable relationship, and that curse was broken because I was able to make the connection between her and her mother. So it was like a way of gratitude of her grandmother for, um, you know, unfold, her karma, because when you do black magic and evil stuff in your life, when you go to the spiritual realm, you have a huge karma to pay. But if you choose to remand some things that you did, even though you passed away, if you try to remand something, the karma will be less than what you could pay. So she told me the truth about my grandmother. She told me me and my mother had a curse on us, and I was able to cut that curse, but it wasn't the curses that I was used to break. It wasn't. It was a much bigger one, a much darker one, and a much heavy one. So, and I needed to do right away. Like, I was in her house, and I needed to do it right away before she noticed, before she could do something to avoid it. So I did, and while I was doing that break, the curse break, I saw those huge demons that were so. I thought, for moments, I had my spiritual team all around, Archangel Michael, angels, and for a moment I thought I would die doing that break, because it was so heavy, and he had lost his strength through the years. So I can imagine when he was done, it was really heavy, that curse that was made. And so I really was traumatized by all that situation. I did finally break the curse, but when I got home, because I was living with her at the time, I got home and I realized that things around there was messy, because if the energy was stick around, she for sure use an object to do it. It was a doll. And things, it might be, like a tornado that came inside that house to break the spell. And I realized when I got in, because I got in really late, that they were still, fixing things. My grandmother knew I did break the curse. So after that, my life in there was a living hell. And she was to beg me, send me spells every single night. My daughter just did this, trembled every time she sent to me. I would feel my body numb, even though I was protected, even though I asked for assistance. I thought I would die in that time, for sure, for real. But I didn't, even though, because my protection was really, really big. And one of the things that happened was that we had a lot of cats inside the house. And we had this cat that was also, it was a she cat. So, she had these blue eyes. She was gray and white, and she was always with my grandmother. The chosen one was my grandmother. And one time she was sending the energy, and I felt it. So I went to my bedroom door and I opened it, and there was the cat riding in circles in front of my door, and I look into her eyes, and her eyes were really dark, were black, like you really see in the horror movies. And I was, what the fuck? She uses the cat to do this. Like, it's really, I cannot explain. It was really a shocking moment for me. And after that, I started to really need to do some things to be protected. And I confronted her. I confronted my grandmother. And as soon as I did that, she really wasn't pleased with my presence there. So she talked with my uncle to make me leave the house. So he paid for a bedroom for 6 months, because they didn't want it to lose their image of good Samaritans. In fact, my uncle also uses black magic, because my grandmother taught him. He cursed his daughter, but taught the magic spells and dark magic to his son, because he was his favorite. He was the image of her, so that's why he did it. And so I was really heavily cursed while I was there. And after that, I went to a house which was owned by an ex-toxicodependent. And she was, and she had a daughter. And that house had some really heavy spirits. And while I was in the bedroom, I always felt the presence of someone sneaking at the door. And there was a sensation that I wasn't the only one to feel it. My colleague bedroom also said she felt that. And she was the one that brought it up. Like, don't you feel sometimes that when we are in the bedroom, someone is sneaking around? Because I saw that she had covered the window, because it had a little window. She had covered the window with clothes, And I was, why do you have this clothes? And I feel every time I'm here, someone is sneaking, like there is some presence. And I felt it too. So it wasn't from my head, it was a real thing, a real deal. And after that, there were objects, like storage mobile, storage, I don't know how to say it. It was a place where the storage of hoods, not a wardrobe, but the smaller ones. She had it in a bathroom, and strangely, it appeared at the front door without anyone touching it. And also the doors of the storage in our bathroom open alone. There were some really heavy things happening around there. And this is just a little of what I've been through, because I've been through another things. I just wanted to bring this up because there are some people that say, oh, you are crazy, whatever. You don't know what I've been through. You don't have any idea of what I've been through. And how I see now, how the spiritual reality, which is a reality that lives inside of 3D reality, really works and really does affect us, affect our thoughts, our feelings or actions or decisions, you know. And if people don't awaken to that, if people don't really understand the effects of using black magic, or the effects of using this kind of energies, and the consequences are really heavy. And I was the one, when I was living with my my grandmother, sorry, that was channeling light energy, transmuting that heavy energy. Once I left, things started to happen for her. Like she got sick, really, really sick. She almost died in the hospital. That cat that was used to do black magic died also. Yeah, she died. Also, the birds that she would use, the birds that she was creating, they died also. Because why? Because she wasn't able to drain the energy of me as easily as when I was living there. So I was always heavy. I was always with no mood to do anything in the house, like anything. Clean the house, do the, organizing. I wasn't able. She was always with a lot of energy. I was with none. Okay. After I left there, I realized that wasn't my problem. It was something that she was draining out of me. So she called me lazy. She told me that I couldn't do anything in the house, that I was unuseful. She told me a lot of bad names, insulting me every single day. And she knew she was draining the energy out of me. And that's why I'm bringing this to bring the awareness. If you are living with a person that are constantly insulting you, making you feel bad, if you are drained of your energy, if you feel like you don't have energy for anything when you are around that person, inside that house, please, since you have the awareness, you are the one that has to do the change. Leave the house. Prepare yourself. Don't say anything. Save some money. Sometimes we spend money on silly things like candies, or, as I did, candies, clothes that we don't need to wear, games, whatever. You can use that money to save and to start a new life. But you have to do it for yourself. No one is going to do it for you. So that's why I wanted to bring this. Hope you enjoy it. Later, I will tell more.